Hey, and here to give some advice. Well, I don't think I'm particularly qualified to give a lot of advice, seeing as we only came out about being a system earlier this year. Um, I have discovered a new tactic that works well for us. Well, it did for a bit. So, what we did, what I did, is I made a system book. So it's a book for the system to use to communicate, to write things down, to journal, to talk, to exist. Like people do. That sounds really sarcastic. I'm really sorry. But that's kind of just the vibe this week. All right. So in the system book, we did lay down a set of ground rules, which I think are very important to have, especially for a system. So you guys can I'll tell you the rules that I had written, and if you guys want to use that for your systems or just in general, because I think some of these are good things to live by. Um yeah, I'll just tell you them so you guys can use them if you wanna. So the first rule that we have is write down the events of the day in date and time format and who was out. So like on my first entry, and only entry because literally forgot and it's been 4 days, is on I wrote down the date and I wrote down the time and I wrote down that I was fronting, and then I wrote down the journal entry. So it says December 3rd, 11:31 a.m. fronting N, because that's me. And that's how we have decided we are going to format our journal entries. So the second rule is no smoking, no vaping, and no drugs. Medical drugs are okay because we have to take a lot of medication. Well, I have to take a lot of medication. I have to take 190 milligrams every night. And yeah, no, none of that because this body has asthma. No bueno. Um, and yeah, it just doesn't smell good. We just don't like drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. Also, the mullet is growing again. It's the second time I've had a mullet ever. I need to stop fawning over my hair. Okay. Three, alcohol in moderation, and that's for the adult alters only, including myself. Um, don't let the child alters drink. Just don't let them drink. That's just a ground rule. Don't let kids drink in general. Right? Four, tattoos and piercings must be discussed, or all body modifications should be discussed. We have a tattoo right here, and I gave the body this tattoo before I had put any of these rules in place, or before I'd even thought about having a system book. So yeah. So yeah. Um, and then we have three piercings on one side, which we all agree is super cool, but we personally would have liked it to have been discussed with us first before Alice had decided to go ahead. But it's cool. It looks great, I think. So yeah, we just want things to be discussed. No crackers and chips. We're trying to lose weight. Yeah, we're trying to lose weight. It's been going pretty well for us so far. We have gone down. Currently, we've gone back up a lot because we just went back on Depa? Depo? Depo-Provera, which is the birth control shot. So, we gained a couple pounds from that and some pretty bad impulsive behavioral eating. So we're currently about 170, which is 30 pounds down, or about 38 pounds down from our highest weight, which is 198. So progress is being made. Wear what you want. I don't know. Or what you want. If people are gonna judge us for it, then let them judge. It's not really their place to judge, because we're gonna wear what we want anyway and rock it. So, suck if you're jealous because what we wear looks form flattering on us and good on us, and it can't look good on you. That's how I view it anyway. 7, meds are taken at night. Um, just a general reminder. That's when we take our meds. And then we wrote down the dosage of each of our medications. And number 8, cook your food well. Don't give us food poisoning. That's pretty self-explanatory, considering some of us in the system can't cook. All right. And then on the second page, I wrote down a guide for new alters. So this is something that I just generally wrote so that when new alters come into the system or form or sometimes merge, I forget the word for it right now because I'm dumb. I wrote down just a page of general introductions, what they would need to know, and yeah, so this is what we wrote down. I introduced myself, of course. I said, "Hi, I'm Ann. I'm the primary host of the nature system. Here's some things you should know." So we live in a household with our family, with mom, dad, and sister, because we're 19 and we don't go to university because we're broke. We also don't have a job because, COVID. So I wrote down my sister's name, my mom's name, and my dad's name. Not gonna say them because, And then 3 of my grandparents live in the general vicinity, so I wrote down their names as well and their association with me, grandma, grandpa, and grandma. The last grandpa lives states away, and they'll probably never meet him. So, fingers crossed they don't. All right. And then we introduced all the alters. So we have N. Allison Cooper, the hosts. I'm the primary host, of course, but Alice and Cooper also host fairly often. Akito and Zen are protectors. They protect the system. And yeah, that's kind of pretty self-explanatory. Eden is a social alter, even though we haven't heard from her in a while. She still is here, I believe. She helps with social interactions when things get a little too difficult to handle. Lex is a mental protector. She helps keep the brain safe from ourselves sometimes and taking criticism a little too harshly. And Raven is a persecutor. I don't really want to go into a lot of detail about Raven, mostly because of what he's almost done to the body and to us so far. So I'm not really going to delve into that. And then we have our littles, which are children. Going to disclose that we're not going to talk about our littles because they're children and we want to keep them safe. They're literal children. We want to keep them safe. Some more things that I wrote down. Holidays do bring trauma for some of us. So, if some of us have higher anxiety or higher stress levels around the holidays, it's because of that. Why did I write this in yellow? Our sleep schedule is messed up. Pretty self-explanatory. Please communicate system-wide here. Write down things you want to ask other alters, or just write down how you feel, how your day was in this book. So we just know. And feel free to ask questions. And that kind of ties in with the last point that I talked about, which is please communicate here. Ask questions, talk to people, vibe with people, don't be afraid of people. But yeah, that's pretty much our system book. And of course, there's a journal entry that I wrote down that's really not important. It's really not important. It was just me saying, hey, if I switch today, if I get any messages on my Instagram page, please answer them to the best of your ability. Tell them I'll get back to them tomorrow. Please and thank you. Pretty much. Yes, that's basically the only journal entry so far, which was 4 days ago, and we haven't used it since. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say for this one. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. This is Zen, signing off.